Good afternoon. My name is Arthur Warren. I'm in the Criminal Justice 470, which is criminal law, and my presentation for today is juvenile delinquency. The reason I chose juvenile delinquency is because it's one of the most overlooked situations that are going on in our world today. Prime example, a parent who may take their child to the mall or something and drop them off to be with their friends, and later on found out that they're been locked up for shoplifting or either some other petty crime, something that they don't think will happen. Or for instance, a parent dropped the kids off at the movies to be with their friend, and they found out that they hijacked someone's car or something like that. We are all responsible for our kids, and I think juvenile delinquency, being in law enforcement, seeing a lot of stuff that I see each and every day, I think it's a serious matter. What is delinquency? Plain and simple, it's an unlawful conduct by minors in most states which are under the age of 17. Depending on the severity of the crime, they could be charged as an adult. Juvenile delinquency does not just occur suddenly. It starts out with a small series of events and eventually escalates. Many a times we think that juveniles delinquency derived from poor kids coming from broken homes and suffered family violence as well as alcohol abuse. But we're finding out that there are also kids coming from good homes that are doing exactly the same thing. So it's not a poor person's thing anymore. Basically, it can be from anything deriving from an unstable environment. Some examples could be from skipping school, or playing hooky for the older people, underage drinking, going out to the mall and, like I said, running through the mall, knocking stuff out their eyes and stuff like that. They start out minor like that. Then some of them may escalate into major things like theft, probably all the way up to murder. That is the major. The only difference between crime and delinquency is the fact that in most cases it depends on the offender. If you commit a crime as an adult, you're going to be charged as such. Whereas you commit a crime as a juvenile or someone less of age, they're basically going to go through a series of processes in which they'll try to get them back out into the community. And the main thing is to realize that minors do have the expectations of knowing the difference between right and wrong, and they can learn more and not to do things that they have done. Parens patriae is a Latin phrase that comes parents of the country. This is what happens when a child is taken from their parents and placed in a facility like a juvenile detention, stuff like even the disabled individuals where we have out there. We got a lot of homeless people, a lot of disabled people that's not being taken care of. And so what, the state becomes the ward and become their parent and start taking care of them. So it's a major thing going on as far as just trying to take care of these kids and get them off the street. Most juveniles, depending on their offense, are released back to their parents. In most cases, they get not a citation, but they might get something where they have to go back to a juvenile court or something like that, in which they have to hear their case and stuff like that. But it's all become sealed until they get older, which 18, then it's no longer going to be considered adult. Some may be placed in custody. For instance, depending on the severity of the crime, they may be put in a juvenile detention center like DJJ or something like that, which they'll be held until they go to court, depending on the severity of the crime. Not all detentions are designed to be punitive. Most of them, they try to get the child back into population as soon as they can, so they can continue to go on and live a decent lifestyle, such as going back to school, getting an education and stuff like that. They don't want to keep them locked up all their life. Most of the situation going on with detention centers are the same as adult prisons. Most of them deal with overcrowding, high expenditures. It costs a lot of money to keep people incarcerated, because you got to feed them, you got to clothe them, you got to have educational programs, it's just a lot of things going on. So, and the main thing is try to prevent return offenders. Excuse me. So even though it's juvenile detention, it's basically ran like a prison, and they do have problems. One way detention centers are trying to change is basically move away from the punitive part, keeping them locked up, to trying to make it part of a rehabilitation, so they can teach them and send them to school, learn trades, send them to school so they can learn things that will be beneficial to them as they become older and as adults, young kids and adults. What else? Statistically, in 2015, one of the most common offenses that placed juveniles into incarceration was property and crimes against persons. It was on the uprise in 2015. The main thing I wanted to concern about, what can we do about it, about juvenile delinquency? How can we prevent it? Basically, is education. If you try to educate your child the best way you can, I mean, teach them. I know they don't want to be overcrowded or anything like that, but teach them all they need to know, and ensure that they get some feedback you get feedback from them, and ensure they understand exactly what's going on. Also, parent intervention. Spend time with the kids. Just ask those questions they don't want to hear. Sometimes, sometimes they got things they want to say to you. They have things they want to put out, but they feel that they're not going to openly tell you what's going on. Also, get them involved in some recreational sports, something like that, so to keep them occupied. That's one of the best ways to keep them off the streets. My name is Arthur Warren again. I'm a criminal justice 470 criminal law. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.